Somebody please, somebody please, somebody please. Oh, somebody please, won't you help me? This book that I love, she needs an editor, oh Lord. And now I said he. Hey, peoples, how y'all doing? I don't know why these songs just pop up in my head, girl. Hi, Net 75, Dark Liquor Cam, Allegedly, Alfreda Gross, and It Z, God Before Everything, Prima Wanda. Hi, everybody. Prima Wanda, Sandra's here. How y'all doing? Yes, honey, today is a begging day. Well, I wouldn't say it was a begging. It's an opportunity to support the arts. So I told you guys yesterday that I had finished this latest book, the last book in the series, Murder in the Beef Sector, right? I'm going to talk a little bit about writing. Okay, when I was a first baby Christian, when I first got out of prison after 10 times in prison, and I was delivered by God, I knew it in my heart, knew it as sure as I knew the color of my skin, that I had been delivered from drugs, right? I was an excited baby Christian. And I was 42 years old. So when I got out of there, first I wrote, well, you guys all know about this book. I wrote my memoir. This is what they use as ammunition against me. People who hate me for whatever reason or who are desperate for content, they look to this book so they can find out the true, something true about me in my past, 20, 30, 40 years ago, right? But that was a labor of love. But soon after I wrote that book, I said, you know, I really like that, but that was just a straight narrative, just talking, telling you the story of what happened, right? And hopefully it helps some people who struggle with drugs and all the other elements of the streets. But then I really enjoyed writing. So I said, I want to write some character where people are talking, and I'm going to try my hand at writing a real novel, right? You know, a memoir is a life story, parts of a life story, bits and pieces. And a novel is a made-up story, but you write about what you know. So since I was so excited about Christianity when I got out of prison, and I started attending a church, the first churches rejected me or made me feel like I was being rejected. So I finally found a church who was LGBTQ. Most of the people in the ministry were LGBTQ. Most of the audience, LGBTQ. And I found a church home. I am still there. It's been 20 years, right? But my point is this. I wrote this book, Love and Gospel Music. It was a pretty decent sized book, right? Love and Gospel Music. The subtitle was, What's Wrong with Telling the Damn Truth? And I believe I was inspired because when I got involved in church, I mean, I had been raised around church, but I never really believed, or I really never really thought about it really until now when I desperately need to cling to God. And so I took the people in the church, they were all gay people. Many of them were in choir, in music, and they would tell me all the stories of all the gay people who are actually in music in the church as a whole, as a large, right? And then on the internet, I would hear story after story after story of these people who were gay, who were in churches, even though at that time, the church was in an uproar because they were trying to stop gay marriage. For some reason or other, they felt like that was their assignment to stop gay marriage. So every sermon was about gays and not being married and the sin and all this stuff. But I started saying, well, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that all these people who I've listened to for years, certainly my family listened to more so than me, a tremendous amount of these people were homosexual people. They were forced into closets. Hopefully it's a tiny bit better now, but that wagon is moving real slow. But I was amazed because the church that I joined, they spun out of Walter Hawkins Church, right? It was a new church, a church here in San Francisco, but they came out of a Love Center, where, you know, the Hawkins family, they had recorded many albums. He was a famous director and singer and writer, and all of his family was also musical people. So a lot of talent came through that church, right? And these are the people, or the woman who started our church. So I got all these stories I was hearing because I was not a church boy. I was a street boy, right? But all these stories I would hear about this relationship to gay people in the church, in position, and primarily in music, correct? And so I was inspired to write a book called Love and Gospel Music. That book turned into a second book in the same series, a third book in the same series, and wait a minute, third book in their series, Muse, and the fourth book. So I wrote 4 books in that series, Love and Gospel Music, right? The reason I'm telling you that story is the story but this book is very interesting. This book took me 3.5 years to complete, Love and Gospel Music. This is the real novel. The other ones are all just follow-ups to this book. I wrote the book in about a year and a half. I didn't publish it for 3.5 years. And the reason why is because I was poor as a church mouse at that time, just getting out of prison. And I didn't have money to hire an editor. And also, I had no idea anything about no book business. I was a full-grown man before I read a book from cover to cover. And that was only because I was locked up, right? But what I'm saying here. Oh, the reason it took 3.5 years to do it is because I had a very good editor on that book, but they did it for free, pro bono. It was a friend of mine, but this person had a full-time job and his own business. He could only spare me an hour a week, 1 hour a week. And I had to wait, and we do part of one chapter, take two weeks to do a chapter. And that ended up being 3.5 years. I don't want to go there anymore. So that's why I'm coming here today. I'm going to ask you guys to support me and paying for an editor, because I want to move the process along. Case in point, this book, Murder in the Beef Sector, I wrote that in exactly 1 year, right? It took me a month and a half to edit this book, right? That's about the beef sector. It's about what goes on here. So what I said all that to say is I need help with this editor. No, I'm not going to be like Jay Wilson and ask you for over $2,000. That's not what I need. When I wrote the sequel to the first book, Deadly Wager, which is also about the beef sector, is book 2 in the series. I initially tried to publish it with a mechanical editor. I didn't feel comfortable anymore since friends of mine, helped me to edit and pay for my first 4 books. I felt like it would be wrong for me to continue to ask them to support my dreams, right? So I tried that, and as you guys know, some of you remember, it came out and it had a lot of errors in it because it was done by a machine. So what do? I take it down when I get the information. I think it was up 2 or 3 days. And I went and I researched to find out what it would cost me to hire an editor to finish this book, which has been edited by myself many times, of course, but it needed really a professional to go over it line by line. So it ended up costing me $350, not $2,000, $350 it took to edit the book. And I was able to move it through, and the book was on the shelf within a month. So that's what I'm talking about here, people. Let's talk about how y'all doing today. Y'all can get some entertainment now because them assholes over there gonna be saying, oh girl, he over there begging, he over there. No, I'm asking you to support the arts. Let's say hello at least. Hi, Cheryl Burnett. LA Fabulous. Alfreda Gross. OG Beauty. How y'all doing? Do y'all think it's unreasonable? I don't think it's so unreasonable. It doesn't take a lot, $5 or $6. And I can start the process of getting it edited, because there are other processes after that, like the what the fuck you call it, other thing, the formatter. But you can't do anything else until you get it edited. Nobody else is going to touch it until you get it edited. Then you can do all your covers and all that kind of stuff. But all that stuff is essentially free. I don't have to worry about any of that. But I do need to get an editor, and I'm not going to ask someone else to do it, particularly when I have to wait and get one chapter a week. Right? This new person, this professional person who does it for a living, they can do it in about 3 weeks. Okay? So that's my pitch. So moderators, would you please put the Cash App in there? This time, yeah. Could you, if you decide you want to help out, help me publish this book, I'll be asking, for the next few days to try to get this 350 together. I sincerely appreciate it. Right? Okay, let's talk about the book now. The book is called Who Shot the Caller? Don't mess up my singing, boy. You know how I feel. The book is called Who Shot the Caller? Whoa, I hear you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so when I wrote Murder in the Beef Sector, the thing was, when I got out of prison and I was so excited about my new spiritual life, I ended up writing 4 books about that experience, right? Because the writers will tell you to write about what you know. And since I was so involved in that time, that was such a big part of my life, the church, the music, and the relationship between the gays and the church, trying to understand the animosity, understand the hatred, and so forth. I covered all those things in there, right? When I came to Beef Sector, obviously, this is what I know. This is what I sit down for an hour every couple of days and do. And so I wrote about what I knew. I was inspired because this is what I was doing at the moment. So Murder in the Beef Sector is about people who dox people. One guy in particular who doxed people, and eventually he just doxed the wrong person, and he ended up doxing a psycho. Now, that book is available. Almond Brown read that book as an audio book. So just go to Almond Brown's book, Almond Brown's website, channel, right? Also, Almond Brown read this entire series, Loving Gospel Music. So you think Timothy Blaine, this ain't nothing but a vanity thing. He can't write no books and all this kind of stuff. Go to Almond Brown's page, and you'll see in her playlist each one of these books read full. She reads the whole book, right? And then so that book was about that. Of course, it ends up killing people. Like many times we'll say on a Beef Sector, we'll say, "Oh, somebody's gonna get in trouble. Somebody's gonna get hurt. Somebody's going to jail. But all these things happen in the book, right? If you could try to fictionalize the things that go on here and take it to the next level, that's what Murder in the Beef Sector was. The book that I did last year, it took 14 months to do this one. But the book I did last year was the continuation, Deadly Wager, right? Let's read the back cover. When going viral means everything. The scene at the motel in San Francisco had gone viral. Someone had planted a camera and recorded everything starting from when police entered room 216 to when they turned over what they thought was the body of a dead Black woman. Amazingly, the views reached 1 million in the first hour. The hysterical laughter of the dummy pushed, wait a minute, the hysterical laughter of the dummy pushed the numbers through the roof. When a enraged police sergeant kicked its head off its body, it was internet gold. Mhm. For it is the love of money that is the root of all evil. Okay, so this book is about people trying to go viral. They're trying to go viral, and in their desperation, these three rappers who are peeking into this on a bet, they peeked into the beef sector on a bet, and they were all rich rappers, but they weren't able to work. They were at home, right? They were playing cards, and came up with the idea of who could go viral, right? They bet $1 million cash. They each one out of the three brought $1 million. They put it in a safe deposit box, and each one had to use the key to get in it, right? They got so desperate because some of them were not as rich as they were pretending to be. They got so desperate to win this money that they start killing people. I don't know why that makes me laugh. Anyway, and so now that brings us to this other thing. This other thing is called murder. I mean, it's called Who Shot the Caller? Let me read you a paragraph out of there, so you have an idea of what this is. Calling, yet another aggressive and potentially destructive practice common to social media, and specifically people who contributed on the tube. I have to use the tube instead of YouTube. Basically, calling is when your online enemies or detractors have backed you into a corner verbally. Some might dox you, share personal information. Others might pick up their phone. For example, they might call your place of employment in an effort to get you fired. They could just as easily call your spouse pretending to be a disgruntled lover, or maybe CPS in an effort to have your children taken away. Call your landlord, the police, the FBI, your parents. The list goes on. So many ways to mess with a person's personal life simply because you didn't have a clever or effective comeback to something they said. Of course, there are many people who needed little to no motivation to behave so badly. The man who just been found dead sitting in front of his computer was one such person. I hope that gives you a little bit of a piece. What y'all think? Can y'all help a brother out? I'm gonna be asking you for the next few days. I got to do something, baby. I don't want to get stuck. I just bought a new kitchen. I got to pay for it, so I don't want to get stuck. Save money for the cover, save money for the editing, save money for all this. I don't want to do that, and then I end up with another 3.5 years. Okay, but somebody did bless me. Let me see. Let me see. Ooh, there you go again. Thank you. Let me see. In advance. Oh, girl, it's already done. What? This thing, I am not lying to you guys. I told you I had to come on here, and I got to get 350. Can you see? Don't you see that number? We're already with two people at just with 200. We're already at 250. I ain't even stopped talking yet. 255. Thank you. Oh, hold on. Bless you. They give me my names. Thank you, Sandra. You always so generous. Thank you, Sandra. Joyce. Is it Simon? I gotta say your name right. Shimon Zimirez. Please forgive me, brother. I thank you. Thank you for. Oh, Shawnee Wade. Bless you. Oh, that's so wonderful. Bianca B. Thank you. Z. Tarn. Moderator. Thank you, Aprima Wanda. Oh, bless you guys. Baby, we're already at another one just dropped. We're already at $280. I'm gonna contact this editor tomorrow. My file is already done. All I got to do is push send. I already know who the editor is, the last editor on the last book. And you guys are gonna watch and see how fast this thing comes to. Oh, that's so nice and generous. Mm-hmm. Some of y'all must be writers. Baby, it's a very pleasurable thing to finish something, to actually create your own world, right? And I want to say that our sister Almond Brown, not only did she read the Murder in the Beef Sector as an audiobook, but she's actually in the last two books. She's in Deadly Wager, and now she's one of the stars of the last book, Who Shot the Caller, right? I can't tell you much about her character, but I think it's so nice. So thank you. Honey, them queens are going to have a fit. Them sissies going to poop on themselves, girl. Okay, we at 280. All right. I think that one was about 350. I got a little bit something I can throw in there. Okay. I appreciate you. Hey, Uncle Tim, I bought your first book and have it. I love books. I love readers. I'm not even that particularly great a reader myself, but I remember a period when I was especially when I was in prison. I used to go through a book every 2 days, right? Something about going into that world. It seems to be a lost art, but it is such a fulfilling thing. Reading. Now, hopefully I'll get back into it. But thank you. I love books and consider myself an editor, having had 25 plus years workforce experience and throwing my hat in the ring, so to speak. Oh, thank you, Fit Baby Boomer. Sometimes I run into people on the street. A few people in my church, not everybody reads. Some people just buy books to support. But the real readers, they'll come up to me and they'll be asking me about the characters and who is this person? Is this a real person? And all this stuff, child. Let me see. Keep writing them books. We are going to keep supporting. Thank you, BNGB. Mm-hmm. The first book is great. Haven't read the second one yet, but it's I'll do my best. Thank you. Yeah, the first book was a memoir. Y'all don't believe me. Where's the number? What did we say? What did we say 15 minutes ago? You see the number? It looks so blurry. Can you see the number? I got to tell you, we're at $330, child. Bless God. Bless our God. Isn't that something? I have just been so blessed by these people on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hi, Almond Brown. I was just talking about you. So if you're curious and you want to get some motivation, if you should take time to read these books, go to Almond Brown's page to her playlist, and you'll find she's read every single one of the books in Love and Gospel Music, right? She also reads James Caldwell books. And the guy, what's the guy, Shaky, the one with the jail? Right? Oh, that did it. We're over. That did it. God damn it. Oh, this makes it so easy. 380. Okay, y'all can stop giving. I don't need no more. Y'all can stop giving, honey. We made it. 380. We asked for 350 15 minutes ago, and we have done it. Thank you so much. Oh, what I was saying was, yeah, go to her playlist and you can hear the book. I listen to them all the time. Some reason or other, I just enjoy hearing other people. I told y'all stop. Almond Brown, McShaky wrote as well. Hold on a minute. We're at 390. Let me see. I got to bless some of the saints. I can't tell which ones I already spoke to. I'll be the last ones. Thank you, Nicole Reloaded. James Caldwell, another writer. She also reads his books. It's great. It's a great way to go to sleep is to just listen to audiobooks. That's how I go to sleep every night. Thank you, James Caldwell. Bless that heart. Shakira. Whitney Simmons. I can't tell which one's the old ones and which one's the new ones. I should put my hearts in. Bless y'all. Okay. We done raised $400 in about 15 minutes. So you guys can stop now. You don't got to be giving me all your money. I'm not here trying to run no scam. I ain't here trying to do nothing extra. But this will allow me to not get stuck, not get stagnant, to send this off to the editor tomorrow, right? And produce this book. And I think that's what it takes. You have to push it through, or you'll end up sitting there for 3.5 years trying to produce a book. Thank you, Justin Never Say. Him, you need to write a screenplay. All of these new streams. Well, I get offers all the time, Justin J, but I don't trust none of them. People there from going back from books I wrote 15 years ago. We're interested in producing your book. We're interested. I said, listen, people, let's just cut to the chase. Is this, you want to promote my books? I wrote that book 12 years ago. Okay. Is this going to involve me giving you money? Because if it's going to involve me giving you money, then we may as well end it. Right. I get a lot of hangups after that. Almond Brown will send you a copy, of course. Girl, you got a starring role in there. I would read, I love to read, spill. I don't like to spill things. But people tell me, no, don't do that. Just hold on. Yes, girl, you were in the last one, Deadly Wager, but now you've moved to Stardom. Hey, Nicole Reloaded. Thank you. What's thriftbooks.com? Is that, are they on there? It just blesses my heart. And all that time, I had to, the first one, a guy in my church who's passed away now, he just came out of nowhere and paid for the Meth Monster to get published. A friend of mine edited that book, the same guy who did Love and Gospel Music. And then I have an aunt. I had a white aunt who married my uncle back in the 60s when it wasn't so popular, right? But I always loved that lady. I hadn't seen her or talked to her in 30 years. She heard I was writing a book, and she came and she proofread it and ended up being editing it as well, right? And it's been quite a journey. The next one, my one of the other editors, the 90-something-year-old lady, she's 94 now. She paid for this book. Walked up to me in church and gave me $100 bills, 10 of them. So I've been blessed. Oh, good. Now I ain't got to be asking you for nothing now. I ain't got to bring it up no more because asking for money is just the hardest thing that I can do. So we solved it, babies. Thank you. We got any writers in here? Well, we got James Caldwell in here for sure. Now, when I bought Caldwell's book, I think it was called what's the stone? Topaz. I read the first one, and then I got all three of them, and I read them straight through, and I reviewed them too. So James is also, maybe we can inspire James to write again. It's very freeing, when you can produce something, out of your mind. What else is going on today? Totally awesome, supporting. Yes, all of the books are great too. She read all of them. I brought Almond Brown to tears with the Love and Gospel Music. That really was a great book. When I published it, I didn't know anything about pricing or anything like that. So they asked me to price the book, but I priced it for whatever the maximum amount was, $26. And then I had no idea that many books on Amazon are so much cheaper than that. But you can get it on Kindle or on your phone for $9.99. But the book was overpriced, and they will refuse to lower the price, which is a reason why I started publishing with Amazon.com. Amazon.com publishes for free. I ain't talking about the editing. I'm talking about the publishing. I'm a non-published writer. Publish it. Nubiology. Amazon does it for free. It changed the whole game, right? You ain't got to pay these some of these publishers who you pay about $1,000, right? They do the exact same thing you can do for free. All you got to do is get all of your work into one file. When you go to Amazon, I think it's Create Space is another one of their companies. You download the file, and then they allow you to create a book. I get a book designed for me, and you just download the book cover, and you have a book, and it'll be on Amazon. So maybe we can talk about that sometimes. You still writing, Trésor? That's great. You're a good writer. It's a great thing to do when you retire too. You can't just be on YouTube all day. I'm amazed that I could write, right? Like I told you, I wasn't reading books. Hell, I ain't gonna say I was busy in the streets, right? But I remember way back when I was in high school, I could only remember one class that I had, and it was a creative writing class, right? And I got a perfect A+ in that class. And the assignment was to write about the spring. We were just about to go on spring break, write about the spring, right? And I wrote about spring love. I had the best paper. She had me read it out loud to the group. So it was always there. You know, God puts things in us. We have talents and abilities that sometimes we're not aware of, particularly when we want to smoke crack all day. We're not even aware of the things that he's put inside of us. Uncle Timothy, please help me write my memoir. Yeah, we'll talk. Nicole Reloaded. Get it me in my my email, and we'll see where you're at and what you need to do. The main thing is to make sure you have a Word program, so you can get it all in one document. You know, sometimes people have, you know, notes from here, notes from there, notes from here, all that stuff. You got to get it all on the computer, all in one document, and it'll be very easy from there. But we'll see. People will help you as well. That's why they have editors. There's a company called Fiverr, which makes a lot of these people on here, all these graphics they show. I don't use graphics anymore. I did it first. All these graphics and things, Fiverr, they'll make any graphics for you, right? They also have editors, proofreaders, what's the other one? Formatters, everything. You can find it on there and get the thing done. Justin never says die. I can't spell it, Justin. I've been sworn to secrecy. Well, I don't know the answer to that answer, really. Justin says, Uncle Tim, where are you getting all those Hurley shirts? Someone asked me yesterday, where are you getting all them Tommy Hilfiger shirts? I'll just say I've been blessed, honey. Wherever they're coming from, they're not asking me to promote their products at all. They're just sending me boxes of clothes with their brand on them. So my guess is that because they come anonymously, my guess is that this is the way they promote their products, because you'll get, you know, like 5 of these in different colors, 5 of the other ones, 10 of the other ones. I just call it a blessing, honey. Grandma say, baby, learn how to say thank you. Thank you. Your uncle is a blessed man. Oh, y'all surprised me with that, though. That was, oh, honey. That was quick, honey. Went overboard. Throw me overboard. I found a, hey, throw me overboard. A song just popped up. Yep, y'all rained down on me. I'm so glad I ain't got to be coming on here, because my plan was to keep asking for support until I got it, right? I had never dreamed that it would happen in 15 minutes. So good. We can get back to our regular scheduled programming. Yeah, for the last 3 weeks, all I'm wearing are their products, whoever the hell they are. There's 3 of them. I think Hurley, I think Tommy Hilfiger, and those Hilfiger shirts are like, they're like $70, $80 a piece. And there's another one too. What's it called? Hurley. I forget the other one. Hurley, Tommy Hilfiger. There's another one too. So whoever you are out there in shirt land, thank you. Thank you. Why would Hurley send that to you, Uncle Tim? Are you not a surfer or skater? Well, that's what their products are. So it's for surfers and skaters. I wouldn't mind finding me one, honey. Just I can go for a surfer boy. Shit, it's been 15 years. Yeah, they didn't come and interview me, ask me what kind of sports I like. I think they're just promoting their product. You know, if you get a bunch of people on YouTube wearing it, that's kind of like a good way to promote it, I guess. We got 22,000 watching. Lady Liberty. Hilfiger, not finger. Okay. Hilfiger. Uh-oh. Y'all mad as Tommy Hilfiger? I never, all that race stuff, it just makes me so uncomfortable. Sometimes people will say something. I mean, there's so many stories about Elvis Presley. He says, there was one statement, he said, all N-word could do for me is shine my shoes. And then you see some in the biographies, you see that everybody he knew was black. All the people he started with music were black, right? People in his band were black. I think that was the pressure of the racist South pressured him into making a statement, and they held that against him. Now he's a racist. I don't necessarily believe all that. From what I remember of that Hilfiger thing, whatever his name is, Tommy Hilfiger, I think he said that he did not design his clothes for the hip hop group that I'm gonna get in trouble for even speaking on this stuff. He didn't design his clothes for that. That was not his intended market. And if you look at the clothing, it was like a preppy type of a look. And then the hip hop crowd just grabbed a hold to it and made it their own. That was not his plan. I think is what he said. And then people took it and ran with it. Seems to me to be the truth. All red, white, and blue. I mean, we don't wear red, white, and blue before then, right? But then for a while there, it was a craze. Everything was Tommy Hilfiger. And so I guess all that goes along with being famous, honey. Harley shirt. I never even heard of Harley. I like those polo shirts the best. I'm still not finished with them. I'll tell you how to upload it to the company I use. Go through auto books. Oh, okay. Almond Brown's going to help her. Okay. Yeah, Almond Brown actually she just mentioned, I just mentioned that she read the book so well that she should check out, what's the company, Almond Brown? Another Amazon company. My memory is so, it's hit and miss. But she wouldn't follow through and end up making an audiobook. I'm so happy about that. So there's 2 of them on audiobook. Murder in the Beef Sector and also Meth Monsters on there by somebody else. I'm so excited now. And I just finished it yesterday. I wrote the end yesterday. And I told you guys, here we are. We're going to move forward. We ain't going to get stuck. You have been a street skater and roller skater since 88? Oh. Yeah, they roll right outside my window. There's a bike path right outside this window. Right out here, there's a subway. And just on the other side of that, there's a skateboard and bike trail. And so I see all those guys constantly. And then there's Safeway. I can't do none of that, Justin. For me, a t-shirt is just a t-shirt. I'm a model now. I'm just a blessed person, honey, all the way around. I have 3 books I narrated so far. No, you didn't. You narrated 4 Almond Brown. You did this one. Then it was this one, and then it was Muse. Remember that? That's 3. And then the label was the last book in that series. Remember that? You do, because I look into them, especially loving gospel music. Mm-hmm. You narrated 4 and made an audiobook out of it, out of another one. Yeah, I'm waiting for Mother. James Caldwell, is it going to be a sequel, or is it going to be a whole new series or a whole new book? I like writing in series because you have all your characters, you have all your locations, and you have a storyline and backstory, and all that is already established. So you can just continue the story. Basically, you're writing one long book. This is awesome, everyone. No, I have 3 books on Audible. Oh, you have 3 books on Audible. Okay. Yeah, I remember that lady. You did another lady. You did 2 of hers? There are 2 books for another author and 1 of your book. Okay. Yeah, that lady. I remember. I have her books in my Kindle. So if they go to what is it, audible.com, can they just see put your name in, and all 3 books will pop up? No, I would be terrible at voiceover. Y'all see how I stump. I can read. I have no problem reading, but I stumble when I read publicly, even when I talk, really, because of my dyslexia. It's hard to stay in the right place, and if somewhere it's just real choppy. That's why I was so glad when she read them. When I first published it, they said, "Oh, you're gonna do a book reading this bookstore? You're gonna do a book reading?" I said, "Oh no, honey, I ain't doing that." I was too insecure. Maybe I can do sing-overs. Let me see. The sequel to, you can say her name if you want to, Amin. And in this Who Shot the Caller, your name, when they pronounce your name, they never call you Amin. They always call you Amin Brown, except for the love interest. You'll see. You'll see. I mean, everybody else has got one name, right? But no, when I start thinking about my friends, there are many of my friends who I always call them by their first and last name. And there are some that I just call by their first name. And some of them have a handle, of course. But there are a lot of people that you call them by their first and last name every time. Where did I go? How to learn how to publish a book? The School of Hard Knocks. At first, the first 2, I paid somebody about $1,000 to do exactly what I do by myself now. And then I put on a Facebook post I was going to start a GoFundMe to publish the 3rd book, 3rd or 4th book. To publish the 4th book, I put a GoFundMe up, right? And another guy on Facebook, who is a guy who constantly reads books, I forget his name. He said, "Listen, you don't have to raise money for that." And he told me about the Amazon company, Amazon setup, right? So I went over to Amazon and I said, "Oh, I can do this. I can do this." And I've been doing it with them ever since, right? So yeah, they'll teach you. They'll teach you step by step how to do it. I keep reiterating, the main thing is to get all of your book in one document and to have it edited. You're almost home when you got that done. If you're broke, like me most of the time, you just find someone who is maybe someone who is an avid reader, someone who is what degree would that be in school? All my friends who did this stuff had a background in school. Anyway, you can find somebody who can. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to edit a book. It takes a person who is tedious and who can sit there and go over every single word. So my first editor was he used to be an editor for a magazine. He got in trouble with drugs. We met each other in the drug program, and I just knew that he used to be an editor. And when I told him that I had finished my memoir, like 2 days later, he said, "Oh, I can do that for you," because he was in San Francisco State at that time getting his master's degree in as a journalism. And he said, not only can I edit the book, I can use that as my dissertation. And that's what he did. He got an A in his class. I don't know what the name of the degree was. I think it was something to do with journalism. But that's how we got started. Of sorts that I'll need male voices one day. Girl, you don't want me to be singing on your stuff, child. I'm not that delusional. Mm-hmm. Jay Wilson, he'll do it for you. He said he's a singer. This one just gave me 500. That one just gave me 250. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah. Isn't that called robbery? It amazes me when people can put thoughts to paper and make an interesting read. Yeah, check me out over there. Oh, you got the books. Then I sent them all to you. God Before Everything. I never dreamed I had nothing to do with books. I never dreamed about it. I did fall in love with reading when I was in prison. A lot of guys do. A lot of guys come off the street, they go to prison, and they start reading. We have reading carts because there's nothing else to do, right? But I didn't think I could do it. I believe God told me one day to just get up and start writing, because the day before I wrote Meth Monster, it never even crossed my mind. I just woke up one morning, went to my computer, turned it on, and started writing. And I've been doing it ever since. Thank you. But y'all ain't got to do it no more. Let me make this clear. We have the money. We have the goal. It's accomplished. You don't have to give me no more money. But I will say thank you. Thank you. Anyway. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Cheryl W. For Cinema Alexander. Mm-hmm. I got to hit all my hearts so I know where it left off. Mm-hmm. All right, you wonderful people. Bless y'all. Y'all done saved me again. I appreciate you. I really do mean that from the bottom of my heart. This will allow me to go and keep moving to get this thing done. So I appreciate you. Later, people. Y'all go over there and listen to Jay Wilson now, try to rip it apart. Oh, he big. Oh, he big.